Uh, Ms. Yamamoto Ai, Mr. Dhawal Mehta, Mr. Dhawal Mehta, last but not least, Mr. Kazunori Sasaki. I would request all the guests to assemble together for a group picture. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you, Mr. Ashish Kasbir, for felicitating the guests. Now I would like to give the stage to Professor Yasuyuki Miyauchi, Director, Global Recruiting, International University of Japan, for his presentation. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Miyauchi from International University, Japan. Today, I'll speak a few minutes, and afterward, the detail of our university is explained by my colleague, Deepika-san. Deepika-san, please come up. Firstly, I'd like to explain our university. Our university is not so big. Every year, only 200 students join to our university. But there are three very unique points. First one, mission. Our school's mission is to educate global leader, not Japanese leader, global leader. Therefore, if you want stay a calm life, our school is not good. But if you want to be the top of the society or group or country, and they save the country to bring some solution. In the time, our university is the idea. Good goal. Second point, our university's future very unique. Even in Japan, and our university is located not in Tokyo, rural area of in Japan. However, 100% curriculum is taught by English. No Japanese is required. And number of Japanese is less than 10%. 19% students come from more than 70 countries. And this year, we welcome 11 students from India. Very quite a big number, because total number is only 200. And third point, because of the major student, international student, therefore, our university is designed for international students 100%. Within the campus, official language is not Japanese, only English. And then we provide a lot of scholarship. Therefore, 82% of international students get full scholarship. Full scholarship. And the remaining 18%, also they get some scholarship. Our Japanese staff collecting the donation from the big companies in order to support international students. This is our 3 unique points. Okay, so please explain detail of our university, because she just come back from the IUJ, Niigata. Okay?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deepika Sharma from Delhi. We are basically the authorized representative of IUJ. From last many years, I have been helping students for their application to IUJ. So if I talk about myself, I have done my MBA from India only. And I'm happy that I'm connected with IUJ and helping a student for their application to IUJ. So now let me explain you briefly about the IUJ. So basically IUJ is International University of Japan, which is one of the oldest university in Japan, which offer courses in English. And the university is established in 1982. And so here's the agenda of my today's presentation. So basically I will be giving you an overview about the programs and the advantages of pursuing your degree from IUJ, as well as I will explain you about the admission procedure and the scholarships. And maybe we'll have a Q&A after that. Next, moving ahead, let me tell you where the IUJ is located. So as Miyauchi-san has mentioned, so we are not in Tokyo. Here's the map of Japan. So IUJ is located in a Niigata prefecture, which also so it's like 90 minutes away by a bullet train, and from Niigata it's like 40 minutes. And the university is located in a very beautiful area, which is covered by mountain, cherry blossom tree, and also you can see in the picture it's extremely beautiful. Let me move ahead with the about the IUJ and overview. So as I mentioned, the university is established in 1982. We don't have undergraduate program, we only have the graduate programs. So we have 2 programs, Graduate School of International Relations, and then we have a Graduate School of International Management. As Miyauchi Sensei has mentioned that it's a small university. We welcome around 200 new students every year, and they are coming from 70 countries. And all the classes are taught in English. So I always heard everywhere from every student that the Japan has a language barrier. How can we go there? We need to learn the Japanese first. No, it's not like that. Maybe in other cities you may require the Japanese language, but at IUJ, all the courses are taught in English. And not even courses, all the environment at IUJ is in English only. Everybody talks in English. So maybe if you go out from the IUJ, you will feel like you are in Japan, but if you are in IUJ, you may not feel like that. So the university is highly international university because the students are coming from 70 countries. It's located in a very beautiful rural environment. As also I mentioned, it's called as Snow Country. You can look at the picture here. It's a summer entrance, IUJ entrance in the summer and in the winter. Let's move ahead and let me explain you about the courses we have. So we do have GSIR and GSIM, and we also newly had offered PhD programs. So I will explain you deeply about the programs in my next slide. Right now, allow me just notify you that we have a very unique cross-registration system. Like if you are applying in GSIR, you have option to choose your electives from the GSIM as well. So basically, you will choose your electives, you will choose your curriculum as according to your future goal. Let me go ahead with the, so here is the GSIR, which is Graduate School of International Relations. So in Graduate School of International Relations, we have International Relation Program, in which the degree will be a MA degree in International Relations, MA degree in Political Science. Then we have this International Development Program, and the degree will be like MA in International Development and the MA in Economics. The Public Management and Policy Analysis program is there, and that is the degree will be like MA in Public Management and MA in Public Science. Then we have this newly offered JGDP, Japan Global Development Program, and the degree will be same like MA in International Relations, MA in Economics, MA in International Development, MA in Public Management. These all courses are for 2 years. Then we have another 1-year program as well, that is International Public Policy Program. And we do have PhD program, and in PhD we have 3 clusters. We have International Relations, we have Economics, and then we have Public Management. Let me move to the GSIM. So here are the course of GSIM, the Graduate School of International Management. And in GSIM, we have MBA for 2 years. And then we have this intensive MBA program for the working people. Those who have 3 to 5 years of work experience can go for the IMBA. Then again, we have the JGTP program for the GSIM students. And lastly, we have this digital transformation program that is also for the working people, and that's also a 1-year program. Let's move ahead. So the advantages of pursuing your degree at IOJ. So we give a quality education. So you can see here we are the accredited by AACSB. Only 5% of the business school has this accreditation in the world, and we are one of them. And the School of International Relations is selected as one of the top school for IMF scholars. So let me talk about the ratio of the number of student per faculty member in IOJ and in other countries. So if you see in USA, it's like 1 faculty member for 15 students. And if I talk about UK, it's like 1 faculty member for 10 students. In Japan itself is like 1 faculty member for 19 students. But in IOJ, we have 1 faculty member for 80 students. I personally have seen how professors teaching in the class. I never have seen so interactive class. So it's like because the number of students are less, so teacher gets more time and the professor interact with every student there in the class. So also it's not like they are teaching you in the class. You also can access your faculty member even after the class. Yes. So as I mentioned in my earlier slide, that the curriculum is adaptable adaptable to your needs. You can choose your electives. You can make your curriculum as per your future goals. We also have a special guest lecture and the field trips for students to enhance their skills, to see how the things are going. And then we have the excellent learning environment. So excellent learning environment means, I'm mentioning in my PPTs that we have a student from 70 countries. So we have an excellent environment there. Because look at this picture, you will see the diversity of a student. So it's not about come doing your degree there, it's not about learning. It's about you will be able to see how, because the students are coming from different part of the world, and every student had their own thoughts, and also they have a different perception. So it's about doing degree along with having a multicultural team leadership experience, also having a different perceptions. So also we have we have alumni around 5,000, those who are from 140 countries, which means wherever you go in the world, you will find at least one IUJ alumni there. So if you come to IUJ, you will be part of that big network. So if I talk about the current students, so we have around 237 current students in Graduate School of International Relations. And in Graduate School of International Management, we have around 137 students, and they are from United States, Latin America, Japan, Asia, East Europe, and many more countries. So from India, we currently have 23 students, and the alumni are 187 from India. So here's a voice of one of our alumni, Mr. Gopi Sumya. He's working with Microsoft Japan Company Limited right now. You can see his message on the IUJ's website. Excellent living environment. So here's the map of our campus. If you look at this picture, sorry. So here's the main building we have where all the classes happens. Along with that, we have the library, which is open till the late night. We also have a computer room there, which is accessible 24/7. We have the research institute. We have gym, cafeteria, school shop. And also we have a single student dormitory at the campus. Along with that, we have a married student dormitory, and we also have faculty residence here. So you may not be able to see here, but the campus is covered by tree, forest, and the mountains, which makes IUJ campus is very beautiful. I would ask you to go to the IUJ's Instagram page, go to the YouTube and see the campus life. You will be able to witness the beauty of IUJ, which I personally admire. And these are the picture of summer, winter, autumn, and spring in IUJ. These are the IUJ's campus picture. You can see the beauty here. And these are the facilities we have at IUJ. So we have the dormitory for the student. Along with that, we have sharing kitchen in the dormitory. So sometimes Indian students don't want to eat Chinese, don't want to eat Japanese, so they have the sharing kitchen. I have seen in the evening all the students, Indian student and other nationality student, they come together, they cook together, they enjoy the dinner together. So you have the sharing kitchen, you can enjoy the cooking there. We have this barbecue site. And then, as I mentioned, the library is open till the late night, and the computer room is, you can access the computer room 24/7. So you can continue your study further in the computer room after the classes. And here are some pictures where we do some activities at IUJ. It's like the first picture is for the international festival. So I guess in May, we have a festival called International Festival, where all the students, those who are coming from the different part of the world, they represent their culture, their food, their dance, not even IUJ members, not even faculty member, even some people around the Minami Onuma seat, they also come to see the international festival there. And here are pictures where students are enjoying the barbecue. And there is a native Japanese festival called Nikket Festival. And if you can see, there is a picture where some students are giving Japanese presentation. So along with your degree, you have an opportunity to pursue your Japanese language there. So it's not mandatory to do the Japanese language, but definitely you have an opportunity. If you want to pursue, you can pursue a pursue your Japanese language. And here are some students, those giving the Japanese presentation here. Let's move to the next slide. So the admission procedure and the scholarship, which is the main motive of my to explain you here. So the IJ admission procedure is complete online procedure. So you just need to go to the IUJ website, register yourself there. You will, once you register yourself there, you will get an ID and password, and you can start your application. You can fill up your academic details. Maybe you need to upload some documents, which I'll be explaining in my next slide. Do the payment submission, and then you will get the announcement of your result. We do require an interview, but that is only for the domestic students. Some application of international management will also require for an interview. And PhD student also need to do the interview for their application. So application material, so as I mentioned, it's an online application. So two most important things we require in the application is your personal statement and the research topic. And English score is not required for Indians, because those who have 15 or 16 years of education in English, they don't require the TOEFL or IELTS. So we do require some of the scanned certificate like transcripts, graduation certificates and all. We also ask you for the recommender information. If university or the admission committee feel, they may contact your recommender to give the recommendation. There is a small amount of application fee you need to pay, that is 5,000 yen, which comes around 3,300 INR. And those who are going to apply for the Graduate School of International Management, they need to have the GMAT or GRE score. And here are the deadline of IUJ. So we have one intake in a year, that is in September. And the application deadlines are 3. So there are first deadline is in Jan, second is in Feb, and then we have the last deadline is in March. So those who are looking for the good scholarship, I would recommend you to go for the first and second deadline, because the chances of getting good scholarship are in first and second deadline. Definitely you can apply in the third deadline as well, but the chances become less for the scholarship. And there are the dates for the PhD program. It's like 25th November, it's like tomorrow. And then another is second Feb, and then March. So here's the idea about the application fee. It's like, the school expenses. It's like admission fee is 300,000 yen, which is around 2,142 USD. And for the tuition, it's like $22,860. And then 27,860 for the one-year program. These are one-year fees. And then we have this monthly dormitory fees, which includes the internet line, is around 39,000 INR and $278 for a single room, and then $379 for the married student. And roughly estimate of monthly living expenses is $36 for utilities and $240 for the meals. But definitely now you must be having, it's very expensive. So we have these scholarship options. We have a lot of scholarship options. So we have two scholarship options, like a direct scholarship from the IUJ, and we have some indirect scholarship as well. Like you can see here, in IUJ, we have Nakayama 100 Premium Scholarship, where there will be an exemption of your 100% tuition fee. Along with that, you will get the partial admission fee exemption, and you will also get the stipend around 100,000 yen. And then we have this Nakayama 100, 90, 70, 50, and 30, and you will get the exemption of your fees like 100, 90, 70, and 50. And other scholarships are there. In case of the Asian Development Bank scholarship, the student, once they complete their degree, they need to come back to India or wherever they are living. And we have this AON, JERA, and other scholarships. So if you need to more about the scholarship, you can go to the IUJ's page to see about the scholarship details further. Or you can come to our booth and have my details, and I'll guide you for the scholarship. So I should say, I should mention that 80% of the international student in 2023 has received 100% scholarship. And thank you so much for having me here. I might not be able to give you all the details, but you have my details here. Click a picture and you can contact me after the event. And our booth is there outside, so I can meet you there. Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you for your patience. I look forward to see you in IUJ's campus.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that enlightening presentation. Now I would like to invite on stage Mr. Dhawal Mehta, CEO, TNI Career Consulting, for his presentation, India-Japan Synergies in Education, Culture and Work. A round of applause for Mr. Mehta.
Thank you. Nice to see everyone today, and I think it's been a great pleasure to be here, and thanks to IJBC and everyone who came here today to talk about how important it is today to consider Japan as a destination. I think that in the beginning we saw a lot of talk about the history of how India and Japan have been doing things together for many years. And, I personally saw that when I went to Japan, because I've been sending students and a lot of the students are there. But the attempt that I did this time in October is to see post-COVID, really how many of them, what are they going through? How are they doing? And, whether it was undergraduate students that I met, or I met with students who came from, who went there for masters or their PhD. They all had such positive experiences, right? They were incredible experiences. I was so happy in those 15 days to hear the stories of those students. So I think I'm going to probably start by saying that it's been a very positive experience for students to consider Japan as a destination. I personally studied in the US, and this was, back in '99. That's when I went there. I graduated in 2003, did my bachelor's, then I did my master's at Columbia University. But, so when I went to that, so when I'm in the US and it's a developed nation, I see that and I see how Japan's teaching works also. The professors are fascinating. I've seen most of the public universities or private universities having a mix of professors. So you're not going to find, it's very multicultural. So you'd find about 30-40% of the professors coming from outside of Japan who are teaching. And in the classrooms, you actually see that the interactions are brilliant. That's something that you really want to see. I really want to see that because I thought I went to some of the best universities. But when I went to Japan and I actually saw that, I interacted with the students. Many of them, went to some of the best universities, in India. And then after that, they went there for research work. And, they stayed back and they said, I'm going to do a PhD. And I feel the support you get with the number of scholarships, and you saw a lot of the universities mentioning that. I think it's incredible to see that the support you receive with those scholarships, the cost is not much to study in Japan. After you complete working, so Japanese is important, it's a part of the culture. If you do learn Japanese, it's going to make your life much easier. But it doesn't mean, I've seen many of them who've gone from here, some of them who've had a basic knowledge of Japanese, then they've gone there and actually themselves learned more. They've put in the effort to learn more, and it has helped them, right? And I've seen students take variety of courses, so it's not just STEM focused. So if you think that only if it's engineering focused or anything to do with, Japan has courses all across. You saw that today. Whether it's a tourism course or whether you saw a course in design or whether you saw courses in technology, you're going to find all sorts of diversity there. And they're English taught programs. They're not programs that are just, in Japanese. The reason of learning Japanese is partly for interaction that you have, the cultural interaction. And I think that it helps a lot. It opens you to opportunities. So I feel my presentation is going to be more focused on that. So I'll walk you through our slides, but I just want you to know that, and we have a booth outside as well, and Arman's been, out there, and he's spoken to a number of students who've come across and spoken about this. But I think it's an incredible opportunity because this year, and you saw the start of this, it was spoken that there are only 1,500 students going to Japan. From the 1.3 million in India that go outside, you've got 1,400 kids going to Japan. And when I look at that number, I'm like, why is it not more? Why aren't you guys thinking about Japan as the destination? Because honestly, if you ask me, it's a gold mine, right? It's a place where you have the best of faculty, you have people who are incredibly nice. Yes, maybe, initially food might be a little bit of a challenge, right? You just have to know the right places. Really, you just have to know the right places to go. When I was talking to the students who went there, they said we went to the canteen, we saw what it is that we liked, we started cooking, we had these exchanges with other international students, right? Because there's students coming from 150 other countries there. Whether you go to Tokyo, you go to Kyoto, or you go to the students, Fukuoka, other countries you there. You have so many choices. And you know what I figured when I went this time, you can just take the train and be anywhere in 3 to 4 hours. I love that. The flight, taking the flight, sometimes when you're, going 1 hour of preparation, and then you take that flight for another hour and a half, and then you come back again, and it takes 3-4 hours. It's just, you just get to the train station. You're there, in time. The train leaves exactly on time. Everything works on time. So you could have a good work-life balance, because people really appreciate the punctuality, and they appreciate your time. So I think that's something that I've really seen, and which I've been amazed, and I feel like it's an incredible society where you get to, understand I think their culture as well. They're very welcoming. So that's what I will say, at least from my experiences, and I can show you that from my slides. So we'll go to the next one. So this is just a slide where I'm talking about, a little bit about myself and my 2 co-founders, Chirag and Kevin. We started this with the idea that we wanted to make sure that we could reach out to a lot of schools and students. So we work both on the institution side and we work with the students. That's our ecosystem. And we started this in 2014 in North America, and we reached about 11,000 schools. And, coming to India right now, we've been working with universities and schools. So I've already come to MIT before. I love the place. It's a beautiful campus. You guys have something incredible. But when you're looking at masters, trust me, you're going to find the campuses there also just being as nice, right? You've heard that. The weather also is great. Most of the places, the winter might get a little bit, right, cold, but still it's not that bad. Trust me, I went to Michigan, and it was minus, with, a foot of snow. So I've lived in the worst conditions possible. And I also lived in Chicago, windy city. You go to Japan, still very nice, right? You can go to Mount Fuji, and from a distance, you can actually see a little bit snow on the peak, right? But that doesn't hit you until you actually go up till there. And it takes about a day to go up, and then, a couple of hours to come down. But there's so many destinations, even if you want to tour around, right, after. So I'll go through, and we have a great advisory board. As a matter of fact, a lot of our students who have been sent there, who are studying PhD, whether they're at University of Tokyo or at Waseda or at Kyoto, they all are very helpful. So, if we work with you or you work with us, we'll be putting you in touch with those students who've already gone there, who you can ask real questions to because they're already studying there, right? So we'll go to the next slide. So Globestar EduTech is where we work with the universities. We help them with student recruitments, international tie-ups, whether they're here or whether they're abroad. With the TNI Career Counselling is where we work with the student ecosystem. So whether it's providing career mentorship, test preparation, whether it's the application guidance piece, that's where we help. Next slide, please. So where I said I had this recent trip, right, to Japan, and I was like, why is that? We wanted to understand how our current students are doing, understand, what the mix of international students is, and also, a perspective was to understand the culture, food, what the life is, and our goal was to assess the academic offerings, their campus culture, overall sustainability for Indian students. And the initiative was a part of our strategy, to look for opportunities for students. And we felt it was incredible. Now, that's what I'm going to show on the next slide as you're moving along. Right. So this is all where we went. So I started my journey with actually going to, University of Tokyo. So I was in Tokyo. That's where I went to University of Tokyo, spent some time with a student who's a PhD student there. And he had some incredible insights for me. He was doing research work within electrical, systems. And he said, I'm working on a PhD now, because he initially came in for research work after he finished his master's. And so he said, why have I chosen this PhD here? Because I feel like I'm getting a lot of mentorship from the professor. And I know I'm going to finish this work in 3 years, right? So PhD in Japan takes only 3 years. The rest of the world is 5 years, is what you're looking at. Or anywhere that you end up going, you'll end up spending about 5 years. Here, it's very proactive, right? Before you put in your application for a PhD, before someone selects you, you have to figure out what is that gap, what is the topic that you're going to focus on. And then your mentor says, okay, this is what makes sense. You apply to it, and then you get the admission process. So you will not get admission if your thesis is not right? If your gap is not there, you're not going to get the admission. So you have to work. So it's students who put in the application also don't succeed the first time. It takes some time to actually succeed to get into that PhD. When you do, then you will actually see that you'll get a lot of support and help. So one of the students had a Japanese mentor. The other student that I'm going to talk about, who's at Kyoto University, she has an Australian mentor. So, she didn't learn a lot of Japanese initially when she went in. But when she went there, she spent a little bit more time to learn. But she said, I'm meant to make sure that we finish the PhD within 3 years. Right? So that means if you have to be in the lab, you have to finish your work, you'll sit and finish it. Right? And after that, there are plenty of opportunities for you to work in the industry or in academia, both. So this is a quick video. We'll just go through it so you'll be able to see. Did you get the revised presentation? Did you get the revised presentation? Okay, so that's what you're playing, right? Okay. Is the video playing? Arman, you want to get the video separately from Prasad? What did it mean? To Japan. Number one. Yes. And then why? Okay. Did it make you question? What did it make of new ideas? What did you feel? Number one. Yes. And then why? Okay. terms of motivation to come to Japan? Number one.
Yeah.
And then why Columbia?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about the campus and just a little bit about the kind of work that you're doing. What are you studying?
Studying financial econometrics, law, and Japanese.
Oh, that's a handful.
Learn more about the Japanese economics, and from a life perspective, just seeing and interacting with a different culture is really very inspiring in a way.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so sorry about those technical issues initially, but the idea was to show you that everyone that I spoke to, and you must have seen whether it's an undergraduate student who's studying there and doing his 4 years, or if you're actually someone who is doing their master's or a PhD. And I think you saw most of the universities, the kind of fees that you're paying, anywhere between 3-5 lakh rupees to you're paying 10 lakh rupees a year at the maximum if you don't get scholarships. So the kind of life that you would actually get at a university, the education that you're actually getting, and the employment opportunities post that, they all line up to actually make Japan an exciting destination, right? And so what do we discover? Okay, so what we discovered is that students at the undergraduate, masters, and PhD are happy with their decisions. There are more masters and PhD students, of course, from India right now, and that is going to only broaden. I wouldn't be surprised to see that students can actually, once they welcome themselves to this, that the growth from this 1,400, 1,500 students will probably go up to a good 10,000 students. So very possible if students start considering that there's a lot of opportunity, to not just study in terms of the quality, but also the employment. So every student that we are seeing there, they are getting employed in companies, and the companies are very open-minded, right? So whether it's Apple, whether it's Microsoft, or whether you're looking at local Japanese companies who are actually global, they all are very open to the idea of employment for international students. Now, in terms of mobility also, if you want to come back home, you don't have those issues and constraints that maybe a US visa or someone else actually gives you. We've never seen that actually happen, right? When you're such a small contingent, they really want you to be able to go to your home, come back, right? And the flight is about 8 hours, 8.5 hours if you're taking an ANA Airlines flight, not very difficult. So, in terms of, advantages, there's just plenty. We saw that, even Japanese students, very open-minded, if you want to work with them on a project, the only one thing is you have to be more independent. You have to be someone who engages in conversation, and you'll actually find people coming back to you and talking to you. If you're going to expect that they're going to come back and first talk to you, that might not happen as much. So I've seen courses, and most of them, right, these all are English taught courses. So it's not that you're going into and you have to learn Japanese all the way. I think someone spoke about this earlier also. There are these, levels of Japanese, starting from an N5 all the way to N1, and you can learn Japanese slowly and eventually get to an N1 level where you're, professionally competent, and you can do that while you're studying. So it gives you enough time, right, to do that, and then when you go to a workplace, it's better for you to have that N1 so that, you can converse and professionally and becomes easier for you. So yes, that's one important thing. So there are courses in economics, hospitality, business, sports. I've seen, I don't think language has been such a barrier for everyone that I spoke to, and corporates are very open to hiring international students who speak. It's just you need to put in the effort yourself, right? So value is very much there. So I'll move to the next slide. These are some of our success stories, because you saw some of them that were actually talking. So whether they are pursuing PhD or bachelor's, we've actually seen them across the board. So we work with students across 12 different countries, but we've seen Japan as a very prominent area. At least in this cycle, we've seen a lot more students applying this cycle and wanting to go to Japan. So I'll move on. Again, advantages is world-class research. From the time you start till the time you end, you got a lot of interdisciplinary education. The cost of tuition fees is much lower than going to the US, going anywhere else. You've seen most of them talk about it. What I also observed is that, a lot of international students at all the public or private universities that I visited, most of these universities give you free Japanese lessons as well. So for the first 2 years, you'll actually see them helping you out, so you don't have to worry about it as well. Residing in sort of like Tokyo or Kyoto can be a bit expensive if you're right in the city. But even if you go out a little bit, maybe 30 minutes out, you still get cheaper accommodation if that's where you want to live. I've seen students doing that even if they're going to Tokyo University. They might not live on that campus, but they'll live probably about 20, 30 minutes away. But it's still convenient, for them to be able to, travel that much because the transportation is just incredibly good. Very safe, I must say. Extremely safe. Anytime, morning or evening, late at night, even if you're traveling, you won't have that as an issue. Yes, the only thing is taxis are super expensive. So don't expect that you're going to take a local taxi outside and be able to get anywhere or to the airport. I can just give you a quick understanding of how expensive it is to take a taxi in Japan. So if you were 50, 60 kilometers, that's how Narita Airport is from Tokyo's, the main city, you'd almost spend about 15,000 rupees to just take a taxi. So don't attempt to do that. I'm just going to say that you have to take the train. I know he's nodding there because he's there. Because I have actually seen that. See, my brother works at Sony, right? He's been there for 11 years. And even he would not take, like he's almost at the CEO level, but he doesn't actually take a taxi, even though they can. So it's just to say that. So go to the next slide. This is what I was just saying. We've got 26 million, students either in the high school area or, college, and we've seen 1.3 million students going. We've seen 1,457 students as of last year, but this year we're seeing that increase. We feel that in the next 5 years, this is going to reach about 10,000. So the earlier you think about going, the better it's going to be for you in that ecosystem. Yeah. 1.3 million, imagine going outside India every year. Okay, moving on. These are the scholarships that you saw, but we've put them down here. These are for Indian students, whether you're looking at the Kyoto City International Foundation or the Hyogo International Association or the Asia Fukuoka. So there's a lot of scholarships that you're going to find. This is just one piece of it. If you go to the next one, the next slide, that's got a ton of them here, right? So if you want to take a quick picture, you can take it, and you feel like there's a whole lot of scholarships that we can actually tell you about. And I know universities have some specific scholarships also, right? And then in addition to this, if we move to the next slide, there's again some information that JASO has, and they've got some scholarships as well. So you're going to find a lot of scholarships that are being given out. You just have to know them. You have to be able to reach out. That's where we come to help you out in terms of services. I'll move to the next. That's how we help students, is choosing their English taught programs and regions that fit your budget, interactions with Japanese university students, alumni and representatives, mixed and other scholarships, research and the university applications, understanding the Japanese culture, language, career support, visa requirements, and work opportunities. So with that, I kind of end, and it's lovely to have talking to you guys, and if you have any questions, please go ahead. I think I have a couple of minutes. Any questions? Anyone has any questions? I don't know if you have a mic, you'll have to come here and talk maybe. Do you have a mic? No. Anyone have any questions that I can address? No? We're good? Very quiet audience here. All right. Thank you. Lovely talking to you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mehta, for that intriguing presentation. I'm pretty sure the students learned a lot. For our last guest today, I would like to invite Mr. Kazunori Sasaki, Senior Manager, University of Tokyo, India Office, Delhi, for his presentation.